Well, let's get started. Finally, yes.
Yay!
47 minutes into the call time. We are here.
You
And I've
run
been working on
golden.
this since like 6:30. Okay,
Ooh.
that's not true. 7. All right, so let's get started. I am Christopher Gray. I am going to be running the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Except our particular game is called Ain't Scared of No Mad Mage because we're not.
Yeah.
We can take him on. This is going to be a campaign. This is a level 1 through 20 dungeon, as they said, although that's arguable. We're not going to be doing this for 3 years. So I think you'll see,
Says you.
well,
I'm
we'll
committed,
see.
man.
All right. I believe you. We'll get through it, as in an expeditious way, which basically means we're going to be cutting some corners on experience and levels and etc. And we're not going to see every room of the dungeon, but we're definitely going to see a lot of it. So that's the goal here, and this is my first attempt at broadcasting through Twitch, and it did not work. So this is going to be the format for now, and then we'll figure out the technology and get some nice, pictures and graphics and blah 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 blah. So anyway, let's go around the table, introduce everybody. To my right is Gene, so we'll start there.
Hi, I'm Gene. I'm playing Tenrail, who is a monk who follows the way of the shadow. So there you go. And my gimmick is that I've never played 5e. So
Oh, what have you played?
everything else except for 5e. Literally hundreds of hours of every version of D&D before 5e. So.
Oh, this will be interesting. All right, great. Well, Kurt, you're next on my list.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Kurt. I talk about stuff on the internet. That's what I do. I'm going to be playing Rosie Rosegold, a gnome rogue artificer, and she's real cute. That's me.
All right. Aabria, you're next to Kurt on my screen.
Hi, guys. I also talk about things on the internet, lots of nerdy things. I am playing Shido, a Kozai merfolk bard. So that's some Magic the Gathering content that Wizards of the Coast released. So gonna cross my streams a little bit on this one. Yeah. Magic. I've never even heard of it. Like, someone can explain that to me later.
That's some sort of turn-based something?
Yeah, I don't know. Cards. I think it's like Pokemon.
All right, last but not least, Jason.
Hi, I'm Jason. I get around the internet making a game called Demigods, and I'm playing Corvin, the draconic sorcerer with a blue dragon heritage. So we're going to blow some stuff up.
That's amazing. You know what's really great about this is that we have an artificer, a merfolk, and under the Mad Mage. We're playing all the latest content.
Yeah.
You want to know what D&D is at the edge? That we're here. We're there. We're the screaming innovators. Okay, cool. So we're starting in an inn, in a tavern. We start in a tavern.
Nice.
This is not just any tavern. This is the Yawning Portal in Waterdeep. I know you didn't know I was going there. But
the shock.
It's very surprising. Okay, Waterdeep, as we know, is the city of splendors and is a huge metropolis on the coast of the Forgotten Realms. So we're right there in the city. All of you are residents of the city and have been there for quite some time. You're actually pretty well known. You've been around. The City Watch has hired you from time to time to take care of problems. You have gone into various dangerous areas of the Waterdeep. You've probably have even handled some monsters in your time. You've been around. You've seen a lot. You're level 5. But the cool thing that happened was so Durin, who's the owner of the keep of the tavern, has hired you all independently to be basically his bodyguards, because things are getting annoying at the Yawning Portal. There are all of these adventurers seeking fame and fortune going there because inside of the tavern is a massive hole in the ground. And that hole leads to Undermountain, which is the most notorious dungeon in the world. So adventurers go in there, they get drunk, they go into the hole, they die. And that's basically, rinse and repeat. Occasionally, somebody will come out with stories of treasure. Durin just profits from all of this. However, it's been getting rowdy. There's a crime boss in Waterdeep by the name of Xanathar, who's well known and reviled by everybody. And there's been a lot of his gang hanging out in Yawning Portal, causing trouble. They're getting into fights. They're throwing each other into Undermountain. They're drinking too much, not paying their bills. So Durin finally said, "You know what? I need a posse," and he hired you all to basically be the security of Yawning Portal. You've been in that capacity now for a couple of months. That's where we are. I'd like you to spend a moment talking about yourselves and whether or not you know each other and what sort of your history is. I think some of this has been established. You might not know each other, but I think at least a couple of you do. So take it away. That's where we are. We're in the Yawning Portal right now.
Thanks. I will jump off and say that Shido is playing like a giant, like almost oversized harp in the front main music room. She's fairly well known around the city, but for her dancing and not music. So anyone that knows her well enough has a sense that this is
what kind of dancing?
Oh, she's a water dancer. So as a merfolk, she casts a giant watery sphere that hovers in the air, and she synchronized swims by herself inside it, and uses little cantrips to alter the water. And it's a really cool, pretty fancy, artistic, performative style that she does in the harbor of Waterdeep. You have to go out to these little floating barges, and that's where she performs with her fellow merfolk. So the fact that she's kind of hanging out and playing an instrument like a peasant in this bar is a pretty strong signal, if you know her at all, that she's probably not there to be the musical guest. So she's just kind of hanging out on the side, playing, watching these fools get drunker and drunker, and waiting for the sign from Durnan that she needs to step in and intervene.
All right, so Rosie, I have to learn everybody's name now.
Yeah, Rosie is, she's probably got a table towards the back, and she's got a taller stool so she can fit up over the top of the table, and she's got all of these. She's riveting. She's got all of these little intricate pieces out, and this pretty wood box, and a little glass sculpture of a dancer, and she's currently digging around in this box, working on what appears to be maybe a music box that she's always just sort of fiddling with. But she every once in a while she wears this half plate, and so she'll adjust it to get it out of her way and get back in with that tiny little intricate tools that she's working on this clockwork music box with. And then someone will bump into her, and she'll just hold up this little ball, and they'll back away slowly and put the ball back.
Nice.
So okay, so the two of you are we'll start there. Are you known? You're a known quantity in Waterdeep. We know that, but are you known in the Yawning Portal for being Durin security, or are you just there quietly watching in case something goes wrong?
Personally, she's pretty talented at de-escalating fights without having to resort to violence. So there's a lot of yeah, right? What a weird thing to be good at. So she's very good at persuading people to calm down and go listen to the music. So I don't think she's ever had to she's not known in the Yawning Portal for fighting.
Now, being merfolk, is that an oddity for the people of the Yawning Portal?
Yeah, I think she gets a lot of that weird exoticism struggle of oh, I've never slept with a merfolk before. And you're like, I don't know, go fuck a fish. Like, get out of here. Yeah.
All right, and so we have a tinkering gnome now. Surely there are not many artificers around in Waterdeep.
No, not a lot of them, anyways. Not ones that would venture out of their workshops like Rosie does. But she's always sort of, I don't know, looking for someone. So she likes to get out and mingle. But her workshop is in the Church of Soon, so she's more of an artist than a crafter, as you would think of them. But yeah, so she's probably a known quantity here because she can do that. She has this really weird clockwork machine that is kind of terrifying, and so that's the little ball that she held up.
Dope.
And so there's probably a few people here that have seen it, and like just showing it is enough to like, all right, go fucking sit down. Like, don't make me pull this thing out.
Nice.
All right, and do you two know each other?
I think so. I feel like her priorities of like love and beauty are something that like super resonates with Shido. So I am a fan of her. I don't know if it like goes both ways. Like we were talking before about like being very pretty close friends. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I think she is at least enamored by Shido's beauty. And like that probably drew her to her, but then like you're just really fun and awesome to hang out with.
Same.
So
Also, isn't Rosie a ballet dancer?
she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are very many like cute like lady hangs with like cute dancing.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
She can be coaxed into climbing on the stage and dancing if
Yes.
yeah, especially after a drink or two.
Speaking of adorable, cute, exotic, and wonderful dancers, why don't we look at Corvin and talk about him for a bit?
Sure. Yeah, I think Corvin is definitely a known quantity at the portal. It's not a big secret that he's like bounty hunter is probably the wrong word, but like independent businessman. And it's not a big dude, right? He's like a very little, like 5'11", very very small.
He's a half elf.
Yeah, half elf and sort of the half elf, kind of wiry build, and is known for either bringing people back from the yawning portal or getting people to pay their debts, and is not like a strong arm person in the traditional sense of the word, but he can get the job done. But he's also like will sit at the bar and sing along with everyone, or like ask someone to dance, and it's just like here and having fun, and then can switch gears and very politely arrest someone. But not that he has the authority to arrest anyone, but is often hired to do so, and will is known for being able to get into places that maybe he shouldn't be able to get into, and pose as someone that he isn't, and get access to things that he probably shouldn't have access to.
Nice.
All right. Well, speaking of being charming and resourceful, why don't we talk about Tenreal?
Well, there's not much to say. He is a monk, and he is most likely a spy, but appears to be out of work. As far as his gig, he's doing the bodyguard work, but I think he's more of the problem, not the solution. So he is constantly getting in fights. He's punching first, and he's borderline fireable. I think he is a walking HR nightmare. So
Some of the folks that you've seen in the Yawning Portal as of late, beyond just Xanathar's cronies, um, but there's been a couple of people in the bar that you could swear are lycanthropes. They're probably rat folk, and Xanathar uses them, and you can see that who's the character in Harry Potter that was a rat the entire
Peter
time.
Pettigrew.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Peter Pettigrews everywhere, and they're kind of like, and and they're not drinking a lot, but they're in the corner sniveling and talking to each other. And you also you see there's been a, lack of a better word, asshole that's been hanging out a lot lately. And he wears full plate mail armor at the bar, except for his helmet, because then his long golden locks will come flowing over the back of his shoulder. And he will buy drinks for people. And he calls himself a noble, and he goes by Garibold. And he has this massive sword on his back, and that's what he is. And everybody hates him. But he's been there causing a lot of noise and trouble just because of his presence. But you've also seen in there another character who is and I mean character, like this guy wears the finest clothes. He's well fed, and he's always drinking. He has that red complexion
Yeah.
that comes from it, and he's just full of money. And he's also very boisterous and loud and annoying. So that guy's been there, and you've also noticed there's a Genasi that's been hanging out, who is quite surprising to see. Not many have seen somebody like her around. Her hair is literally fire, and so everybody looks at her when she comes in, and she hates it and just kind of goes to the back. And sometimes she'll wear a hood. And so that's there's been some characters like that are definitely standing out along with these Xanathar creeps, and there's been your normal revelers coming in just to watch the charades. The Yawning Portal did have a bugbear infestation a couple weeks ago, as a bunch of them came crawling out of the hole, and Garibold was the first to slay them without hesitation. Not even hey, can we talk about this? No, he was going to town. And so it's been an interesting few weeks, and since your presence, though, things have settled down a bit, and Durin's been extremely happy, except very watchful of this hairless, sort of untrustworthy monk that's been in his employ. So this particular day, it's very crowded, and all of the people that I mentioned are there. There are far too many people to keep an eye on, and it's rowdy, and there's music, and there's drinking. What are you doing? Oh, don't jump out at once.
I mean, like I said, I'm playing on stage.
So you're okay. So you're playing, and so everybody's sort of in their in media res, as we discussed earlier. Mm. There is a silence that sort of washes over the entire bar all of a sudden, and it's almost like everybody felt something all at once. Like the temperature went down several degrees, and this breeze comes out of the hole in the ground, and this coldness kind of encroaches onto the tavern, and everybody just feels their, if you have it, hair on the back of your neck come up, and you feel the goosebumps, and your hackles are sort of raised, and it's quiet, very quiet. All heads turn and look at the portal. Is there anything you want to do at this moment before something comes down?
Rosie scoops all of the pieces to the project she was working on into a little satchel, and then slips it under the table and puts it on the hook on the back of her Saint Bernard that is under the table, currently eating what's left of a boot. And she just says, "Stay. Things are about to get a little iffy."
I think I'm definitely going to do the like equivalent of the record scratch and like stop playing just to help set that moment.
I think Corvin was like dancing with somebody, like I don't know if it was dancing music, but it's sort of like, excuse me, and moves not like up to the portal, is actually going to try to see if Garibald's the big fool in the armor, right? Right. I assume he's interested in what's happening at the portal, and I'm just going to casually be close enough that I could put him between me and the portal.
His hair is going in the breeze that's coming up, and he's
that's fine.
Yes.
pulling out his massive sword.
I've pretended to be his friend for some time, and I will use that if given the opportunity.
Nice. Human shield.
Tenreal doing anything at this moment?
I think Tenrail is probably stopped mid-punch. I think he was collecting on someone's bar tab, and this is his 5-minute break. He'll take it now.
So the person you're punching is who?
We're gonna say it's one of Xanathar's various ears here. So they've been crowding that table for a really long time, and it's time to pay up. So the usual.
Yeah, you'll notice then that the Genasi has, after you've stopped punching this creature of a human, this Genasi comes up and just sort of guides that person away from you. She doesn't look at you. She just sort of guides the punching bag away and whispers to him as they go back into a corner.
Okay, that's a little unusual, but like I said, I'm going to go on my break now, so they'll be back when I come back.
Not your problem. All right.
Right.
A figure comes out of the hole, floating up. First you see hair, just white hair. Then you see an old face. And then you see the robes that he's wearing, which consist of hundreds of eyes. And the eyes are all looking around, like constantly. He has this big staff, and his robes extend far past his legs as he rises out of the hole. And he looks crazy. He's like, everybody except for Tenrail is looking at him. Because Tenrail's on his He just
Stay Fitzpatrick.
There's
I'm so worried.
there's a horrible silence. Obviously, the dog is upset, and I don't know how your dog reacts to things like this, but it's like a tornado's about to land. It's that feeling in the air. And he just looks around and says, "I have a problem."
I'll say those robes are definitely a tripping hazard.
I think, Shido is gonna like crack up laughing at that. Kind of like breaks the moment, like.
And then he says, "That means," pointing at you, that I'm gonna learn your name, Corvin. "You have a problem."
Well, actually, my cloak is tailored. What's the problem?
My house, it's built on a knot in the weave. That's why I'm so powerful. But the knot, it's getting too tight. It's gonna break. We're just gonna rip up the weave. That's gonna destroy everything. Unless I leave. So I have to go. But I can't. Because my house needs a master. I've had a couple, but I don't like any of them. A bunch of backstabbing bastards. And you've been coming to my house for hundreds of years. You've been killing my children. Not that they didn't deserve it. You've been taking my treasure. Not that you didn't earn it. So if you want it so bad, you can have it. I put markers on every level of my dungeon. The first person, or group, or adventure party that gets the most markers and comes to me gets the dungeon. And you'll have all the power. And we all get to live. That's it. And then he goes back into the hole. Temperature's back.
Oh, well, okay.
And he's gone.
Yeah.
And everybody's staring.
That was remarkably reasonable. Okay.
I didn't know one person owned all of that.
I mean, yeah, all right. I've never seen him before.
He was very peculiar.
Oh, that's the word they're going to use. Yeah, he was peculiar.
I'm trying to be polite.
You're so polite. He was super weird.
I mean, he was a little out of it.
I hated his robes. There, I said it. I hated them.
They were too long. There's no argument there. That's
They were a legitimate tripping hazard. I mean, we all laughed, but that's he needs someone to look at that.
Are we all just ignoring the fact that there were eyes on them and they were looking around?
I mean, that's not that out of the. Well, maybe I wonder if perhaps it's like a detection cloak. I could probably. So, well, I mean, if you routed.
No. Whatever you're thinking, no.
I have an out of
Just walks
character
away.
question. Chris, are these like eyeballs in the robe, or are they patches of fabric that are animated to look like eyeballs?
No, they're eyeballs.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's terrible.
Yeah. We were ignoring the part. Like, that's crazy.
Well, look, maybe if you gave them like eyelashes and a bit of shadow.
You're so kind.
By the way, the other people are having similar conversations with each other. And if anybody looks back, you'll see Duran sort of mid-coffee cup or beer stein wiping, just staring, completely quiet and shocked. And I don't think any of you have ever seen Duran not have confidence or not be talking. He's a salesman, and he's just stuck, shocked. Anyway.
I assume Garibald was over by the bar, which means I'm closer to the bar than he is.
Yeah, and Garibald, by the way, is climbing down into Undermountain.
Oh, that's fine.
Garibald. You know what? I never liked him. Good luck.
Is Garibald attractive?
Yes, yeah, he's long flowing locks, symmetrical face, perfect posture.
I think she looks over and she goes, oh, what a waste.
They're a dime a dozen.
I would like to shape water into like a little like glass of ice water and put it in front of Rosie and say, "You're looking a little thirsty." And then walk over to Dern.
well, it takes the water.
I think I come back from my break and say, what did I miss? I look over at Durin. What's wrong?
I was Halastar Blackcloak.
Come again? What was that?
Halastar Blackcloak. History checks, everybody. Or arcane.
Yay! Ooh. I'll make mine an Arcana check. That feels cute and fun.
I should probably look at roll 20 and see what's going on.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'll do Arcana as well.
I'm apparently very distracted by Garibald.
Wait, what is this dual roll?
Yeah,
Just take the left one,
I
unless
don't
you have
want to. I
it.
want to take the right one.
No, that's if you were at an advantage.
Shh. I want to take the right one.
All right. So nobody has any idea who that is, what that name is.
Well,
But
what did you
Durin
want?
definitely seems upset. Puts down the cup. He is a 1,000-year-old wizard that built Undermountain.
So does he have an open tab? Do you want me to collect? Is that what we're doing?
He
Really? Okay.
Did you not see what just happened?
No, I was on my break.
Oh, for the love of God.
Yeah, I mean, guys, is everyone not a little worried that Garibald just went down there by himself? I mean,
No.
Genasi is climbing down there now.
oh, good, he's got a friend.
Yeah, look at that. I don't like her either.
They should be paying, but you know what? Let him have it.
Oh, they're supposed to pay to go in the portal?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Durin packs a pipe and just sits back and just sits down, probably for the first time ever, because he never sits down. And starts smoking his pipe.
I meant to ask something about the Genasi before you brought her up.
Oh, go ahead.
Is it all right that I've been asking her to dance every time I've seen her here and she's never agreed to dance with me?
That would happen.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, she would not dance for anyone.
Okay, so I'm not overly confident that they're going to make it first to his lair or whatever. So, Dernan, what do you want to do about that?
Halastar Blackcloak has not stepped foot in Waterdeep in 1,000 years. And he came up to tell us the world is about to end.
Yeah, I wanted to add, like, what does he mean everything will be destroyed? Like, that's a big word. And
Probably not everything. In my learning, it would be just the material plane and all of the associated ones that are connected to the weave at all.
well, that's where I keep all my stuff.
That's enough, probably.
I'm sure Mount Celestial will be fine. All of the 9 hells.
Oh, good.
I definitely can't get to those yet, so maybe we should stop this until we can figure out a way to jump ship?
Yeah, that seems like the plan. Do I know anything about, like, the idea of there being, like, a knot in the weave?
That's an arcana. You are bard, so you know about the weave.
Yeah.
You know that by orchestrating it, you're able to create power through music. You can imagine that tying the strings of a harp would fuck things up. So just from that stance, you can tell that that's probably not a good thing. But if you would like to know more, you can roll an Arcana.
Right. Let's do one more roll and see how we do. All right, a 17. There we go. Okay.
Yeah. You know about knots and weaves, and they're usually it's like, and nobody knows how they got there, but there's enough happening that it sort of jumbles up and ties up and becomes a huge source of power. And if there's a knot in the weave underneath Undermountain, that would explain almost everything about the story you've heard about Undermountain. That means whoever has that is going to be extremely powerful. It also means that you might be affected by it. That the magic gets into your head.
Nice.
And that explains Durin, because Durin's been there, but he can't seem to leave. He never wants to leave the yawning portal. He built the yawning portal, and he just can't ever step foot outside. Like it's almost like it's a drug. Like you've got to stay. Once you've had it, you've got to have more.
Nice. I think she explains this to the group by, like, she pulls out like a lyre and a dagger and like cuts 2 strings of the lyre and like ties the strings of it together and then like reties it up to the top and like flicks it, and it makes this weird like dissonant noise. And like that's like the like visual aid she's using to explain a knot in the weave.
Perfect.
Can I think of a way to fix that, or is it like this is like a cosmic problem? Like,
Well,
is there
unless you don't know how to touch the weave, so you wouldn't know how to fix it.
okay?
Well, I mean, I don't know. As an artificer, how do you interpret the weave?
Probably by using it as a power grid. So, like, I think of it more like tapping into an electrical grid, and using that to like drive things that and animate items and produce
You might perceive
observable effects.
You might perceive this more as like a power center within the grid that has way more amps than it should. So is that a problem, or is it just what it is?
And so our mini-eyed friend here, it's like part of the problem is that he is there and the knot is there. So that combination is what's bad.
That's what he
So
said.
we need somebody new to be in charge of that. I mean, I'd be willing to take on that task. That seems like a fairly simple thing to do.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that sounds like something a crazy person would say, but I
Yeah.
mean, that's a crazy thing. I wouldn't recommend that for anybody, actually.
I mean, unlimited power and resources. Isn't it crazy to not want that?
Yeah, but then, like, weren't you freaked out by all the eyes on the cloak? Could you imagine being the person that wanted all those eyes on the cloak?
Look, I have a lot better fashion sense than that. Obviously, he's got issues. Look at these shoes.
I've been meaning to say I really like those, actually. Listen, I don't want you to mess up what you've got going on. Like, this is a good look.
Yeah. You could become a person who doesn't appreciate finely tailored robes.
I don't
You want to
understand.
become that? Yeah. That's the power of the Undermountain.
Okay, well, now you're describing a nightmare.
I like you.
Well, all right, that works out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we should do something about this or leave Waterdeep forever. So I'm up for suggestions.
Sounds like leaving Waterdeep isn't going to be far enough we can go to escape the problem.
Yeah, all right. Well, what do we do?
Well, we could follow Garibald down in there and just sort of let him plow the way.
Oh, I mean, he's a big ball of yummy. We could just follow him down the hole, and
I'm sure he's made some progress.
Girl. I mean, okay, Rosie, if that's our plan, I'm going to do it because I like you and I would honestly follow Fitzpatrick anywhere because he's such a good boy. But why don't we see if he comes back first? Like, he's not going to stay down there, is he?
Well, if he gets killed, he will.
oh, I'd hate for that to happen.
You should just fuck him already. There, I said it.
I mean, yeah, but we've been busy.
Ridiculous.
I don't know. He's a terrible dancer. Have you seen him? I mean, he's always bumping into people.
What's Tenrail doing right now?
Well, that's a good question. We're gonna have to go in. I'm gonna give my notice. Boss, I'm gonna take 2 weeks off. If my job's still here in 2 weeks, great. And I might pack a lunch. What about you guys?
2 weeks of it. Okay.
Well, if we're still here in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think I'm with Tenrail on this. I want to know more. I want to see what's going on, and I definitely don't want Garibald to be in charge of the entire Undermountain. So I feel like following up on that.
Right. He doesn't seem too bright. We probably shouldn't give him a lot of, I don't know, authority over things.
Yeah. So, Jaren, do you have any can you do like a packed lunch or something for us to take with us? I'm gonna run up and grab my bag real quick.
A lunch? You're going into Undermountain to find the Mad Mage?
Yeah, and if we starve to death, we're not gonna be able to do it.
And it's a lunch you think you need?
Thank you. Okay, someone said it. We're all just really blasé about just going into the.
I mean, we can panic if you want to.
I would like to. I would like
Okay.
to spend at least a good half hour.
Do you want me to cut off the crust of your bologna sandwich?
If it's not too much work, I like light mayo. No, I mean, I've never been down there. How hard can it possibly be?
Henriel. Thousands go down into Undermountain. I can count on my hand how many people have returned.
So maybe 2 lunches? Whatever you got. I'll take an advance on my paycheck too, if you don't mind.
You can go to the dry stores and get whatever you want. I'm not making you a fucking sandwich.
Just don't leave without me. I'll be right back. And I'm going to dash upstairs because I think Corvin lives here.
Okay.
I definitely don't live here, but would need to grab some supplies if we're actually considering this. Shido, are we actually doing this?
I don't want to, if I'm being totally honest.
I mean, I don't know that anyone else here is qualified. And these 2 idiots seem like they're going to go in.
Yeah, and I just don't think that without us, they're going to die, right? That's right.
Of course. I don't really want to go in there, but I also don't not want to go in there. Is that weird?
No, that makes sense. It just...
You know what? I want to have gone in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
That's where I'm at. That's kind of where how I'm feeling about the whole thing.
If it weren't for the part where the prime material plane would be deleted, I would definitely advise that we fuck off entirely. But that doesn't seem like it's the option.
I like a lot of people on that plane.
Yes, you do.
Don't think we could. Yeah. Fuck. Okay, fine. So we're going into Undermountain.
Yeah.
So oh shit. Are we going right away? Do we need to go now?
I feel like we should prepare properly.
Yeah.
We're gonna need more than a fucking sandwich.
I don't even have a bag.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, I have a bag. Hold on. And she's gonna run back and tucked around with all of her various instruments and detritus. It's like a bag of holding. She comes over and just says well, I mean, I've got a bag covered, so you can put stuff in it if you want.
Sure. Oh, I'm gonna have to get my tools.
Yeah, we should all head home and make our peace with our choices. This is crazy. This is crazy, right?
Yeah. Do you have anyone to say bye to, or should we? What if we don't come back?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but some of the people I perform with, we all live in the Deepwater Harbor in Waterdeep. There's like a full little community down there. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'd love to see that.
Do you want to come down? You know
Yeah.
what? Who knows when we'll get another fucking chance?
That is so true. Yeah, so let me grab some of my things
Yeah.
and then we'll go and we'll see your family.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a word. Do you have people you need to say goodbye to?
Um, yeah, there's someone I should probably tell
Okay.
back at the church.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well, we can go over there on the way
sure.
to the harbor. Okay.
Yeah, and then I can get my things.
Okay. Let's do that.
Okay.
Should we? Dirted. Let's leave a note for the boys who are making sandwiches or whatever. That we'll meet back in like an hour.
Very well.
Sure.
Cool. And she like throws a bunch of instruments into the bag of holding and like holds out her hand for Rosie. Says, "Shall we?"
Of course. And she takes your hand and she calls out Fitzpatrick, and he like and like knocks the table over.
Yeah.
Around the door you see that sort of noble guy with the nice threads talking to three people. You can't quite hear what he's saying, but he's doing that fake laugh he does, like you just kind of, and it looks like they're exchanging coin and packing things up.
Can I try to overhear what they're talking about?
Insight, please. And now, Corbin and Tenreal, are you going back in the dry goods to get supplies?
Yeah, I think I'm packing for everyone. I'm assuming that we'll have people join up, but yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, you can't follow along with what they're talking about, but
Yeah.
he definitely seems like he's doing business of some sort.
Okay.
And Corvin, what are you up to?
Was planning on actually helping with the food prep and all that sort of thing, making sure that it's not just dried apples, but like dried apples with paprika and like all sorts of fun little touches that you don't just like go into the yawning portal without any flair. So working with Tenrail and Durin to sort of pack stuff up and like not super concerned whether Durin's like, hey, are you gonna like buy all of that or like what? Like yeah. It's fine.
But what's interesting about that is he doesn't seem to be in Durin mode. Like he's freaked out, and he's just kind of been pale, sitting there with his pipe and the cup that he's been wiping for the last hour. And he's not really paying attention. There's a bunch of beef stored. There's rotisserie chicken. There's but obviously those will go bad soon. There's lots of wine and lagers. There's some potatoes, onions. You do see a whole shelf full of adventurers rations that he sells to people going into the portal.
Yeah, scoop up a whole bunch of that.
Yeah.
Although it should be noted that like most of this is going into 3 backpacks, and that I have like a sling bag across my chest, like a little bit bigger than maybe a fanny pack kind of thing, with some of my things in there. So.
Well, you can get about 12 of those rations from that shelf easily. You'll probably have to do more now. In terms of there's a pound of beef, pound of chicken. There's all that. I don't know. You want to wrap it up in like paper and shove it into the bag?
Whatever sort of preparation thing makes sense.
Dried beans.
We're taking everything we can carry, I think. But I know that he has storerooms more stuff. And we're cleaning out his prep room, but
yeah,
this guy has secret basements everywhere. So
Let's say you have about 2 weeks of food. The fresh stuff will go bad in about a week.
Yeah, so we eat that first.
Yeah.
so what else do we need there? Like a 10-foot pole? You're
Well,
good at this, Corvin.
no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a bit of rope. I've got you never know when that's going to come in handy. Hold on, let me actually pull this up.
I didn't buy anything for this character, so
Yeah.
it'll be good.
Yeah, you're going to want something to sleep on. I've got some basic cooking materials. Oh, and I've got a deck of cards. Don't worry, we won't be bored. And the rest of it is just like the bulk requirements of needing to eat. So, actually, Tenrail, do you see in the dark? Okay.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Okay, good.
So during
Will you know?
I'm way of the shadow. I can cast dark
Oh,
vision
sweet.
if I want, so that won't be an issue. That's a little meta, but yeah, I'll be fine. Yeah, boss, you probably need to take. You don't look well. You need to take a few minutes. We'll mind the store while you're sitting down. So I think we're gonna go raid the upstairs as well.
All right. Well, I mean, that's where he keeps all the liquors and wines and.
Yeah, we
Well,
were
I guess that would be in the
definitely
cellar.
raiding
That would be in the cellar.
Yeah, that's not an accident.
Nice. Good call.
So some hard liquor, some vino, some beer.
I think so far we've established that all we need is food, booze, and
Deck of
basically,
cards.
yeah, basically we're going to a con with that kind of equipment.
Mhm. Yeah,
What about water? He doesn't really have stores of water.
that's what wine is for. I don't understand.
Yeah, so we'll just make preparations for the whole group. We'll try to secure water, supplies, basic climbing equipment, and I don't know. I think we all see in the dark, right?
I can.
Yeah, I think we've established that, but we do need like create a fire at some point. So we'll take a bundle of firewood.
Yeah, we've got to cook on something.
So just pretty straightforward equipment. And then we'll wait for the other two to come back.
Yeah, so you've got 2 weeks of food and water, booze, and kindling that you've probably strapped up on the top of the bag. Are you taking some of his skillets and and steins and eating ware?
I think I've got my own like little mini cook set of like a pan and a cup and a plate and like for me. That's
I travel pretty light, so I don't think we're gonna. We said that we were gonna like raid everything, but literally we can't carry everything. So I don't know. This is a big deal?
Well, no, I'm just getting an idea of how prepared you are. Okay. Now,
do we want to see about hiring some, I forget what you call them, carriers, to like pick up
Orders.
and haul this stuff for us while we're down there?
Yes.
Okay.
there's a particular level of the yawning portal, which is like one of the balconies overlooking the pit where the hirelings hang out. And they're standing and looking, and you can see that the noble guy has gone with two men back down the stairs, and they are now climbing into the portal.
Oh, good.
He's
We'll be
having
able
a hard
to.
time of it, but they're helping him because he paid well.
Are there two more sturdy looking types?
You see, there is there's a couple of sturdy looking types there. There's one sort of bearded guy that's looks worse for the wear. You probably would have considered him a transient, except he, is in the yawning portal, so probably not. He has he has a couple of flies that are just sort of hanging around.
No, yuck.
So this really is like a gaming convention, is what you're saying. we're we're looking for 4. We need 4 to fill out our table.
Yeah, not you.
So we
There's
need, yeah.
also there's also a woman that has leather armor on and short cut hair. She looks more like a fighter type.
Mm.
There's I don't know. There's several people. So you're looking for a porter, somebody that could.
We're looking for at least 2 sturdy backs to help us carry stuff. Someone who can handle themselves, I think, would be great. Miss Leather Armor it would be excellent. If you have any other skills, talk to my friend Corvin here, and we'll sign you up.
There's also a dwarf up there that looks pretty strong. Do you want to talk to the woman in leather armor?
Yeah.
Is she Corvin's type? Does
I
Corvin
mean,
have a type?
most people are Corvin's type until proven otherwise.
Fine. You talk to Miss Leather Armor. I'll talk to the dwarf.
She's probably mid 40s or so, a bit scarred up, has red hair, but that's probably hasn't been washed in a while, but kind of tied up. And she probably stands like this most of the time.
Mm.
But and then the dwarf is, he's kind of younger for a dwarf. He's black hair, black beard, and he's, taking in the libations freely. Doesn't seem to be out of character at all for him. The only thing that's different about him, perhaps, is that he's wearing clothes that are much nicer than probably a person of his stature would normally be wearing. So he's probably got some coin.
Great. I can't help but notice, Mr. Dwarf, that you're standing where people normally stand to look for work. We're going to go down there in a few minutes. Have you ever been below?
Have I been below? I've been to 5 levels of the Undermountain.
Okay, so you kind of know your way around is what you're saying.
Oh yeah. But that kind of experience comes with a heavy price. Something on the neighborhood of 12 gold a day.
12 gold a day.
And I'm going to need a week up front because you don't go to the Undermountain for less than a week. A half-orc comes up from behind and kind of shoves the dwarf to the side. He's never been to the Undermountain.
Okay.
He spits on the dwarf and then walks away. And the dwarf is too scared of him to do anything about it.
Well, I know, 12 gold a day. That sounds pretty expensive. You must be really experienced.
Never mind. Orc, for some reason, wants to go down there instead, so go with the orc. And then the dwarf just walks off.
No. How about like 3 gold a day? Does that work?
Turns around. Okay, done. And he hands out he takes the deal. He extends his hand.
How are you with working with orcs? We're gonna hire that guy too.
That guy's 1 gold per day.
Yeah, because I think when like the orc walks by and Tinrail is like closing the deal with the dwarf, Corvin was like gonna go talk up to the gal, and he's gonna talk to her in a second, but like kind of makes a little pivot detail to put his hand on the orc's shoulder. This is like a burly orc.
Yeah, he's a fighter.
Yeah, kind of put a hand on his shoulder and say, it seems like you might know your way around the Underdark, and that is the kind of person we're looking to hire right now. You willing to come with us?
Only because I don't want the world to fucking blow up.
Well, I think that's a common motivation that we're going to share. So this works out great.
Marin's a con artist. He's never been down there. I won't work with that son of a bitch.
Well, how about if you work with me and he might be there at the same time, but you don't have to do anything with.
You use a lot of flowery words. Do you always talk like that?
It's the only way I know how.
Hey, 3 gold a day.
You could have just said yes.
That's true. You're right about that, actually.
You're using more words. 3 gold a day? Okay, I'll work with that son of a bitch.
Okay. And what about you, madam?
Oh, you're going to the woman too.
Yeah.
That is Mage. She kind of she's been watching this play out. She says, "I don't think I want to have anything to do with this."
Well, I'll put it this way: if we fail, you definitely won't have anything to do, and if we succeed, you will have been in the most song-worthy epic journey in the history of the Yawning Portal, at least.
4 years ago, I went into that pit.
Mm-hmm.
I walked 20 meters and saw a creature that I've never seen before. It had thousands of venomous mouths protruding from a sack of flesh.
That is horrendous.
In one gesture, it consumed and swallowed 3 of my men. I didn't even get a stab in before I ran like a child. And you think that dwarf, that orc, and this old woman is going to somehow make it through Undermountain to meet that mage? You have lost your mind.
First of
I'll
all,
sit up here and drink as the world ends.
I respect your position. I would never characterize you as old. And it's not just us. We have 2 others coming with us, very capable spelunkers. And we're, maybe the best chance that the city has right now. And I'd love it if you came along and were a part of this with us.
Are you trying to persuade her, Corbin?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's see it.
Oh, this didn't carry over. Yes, it did. Okay, I guess I didn't do that. I will just roll. Yeah. Natural 10. It's out of 10, right?
She shrugs, says, "Okay. All right, I'll go."
Oh, fantastic.
I have one condition. The first sign of danger. The dwarf is the food.
Well, I mean, ideally, the 3 of you won't be the first ones to,
We throw the dwarf into the mouth of that whatever is attacking us, and then the rest of us go. That's what I mean.
How about we just killed whatever that thing with the mouth is? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, that's the real thing to consider here. And I sort of like throw sparks from one hand into my other hand of like, we're not going in completely empty-handed here. This is...
Big words, lots of sparks. I could get used to you.
Yeah, and you're not wrong. All of the things you just said are true. So I respect you.
I cherish you, is what you said.
Yes.
Okay, we need one more.
So we have Orc, Marin, Mage. You need another one?
Wait, this
You
orc's
guys
name is
have to
not...
control these NPCs, because I'm not.
Yeah, we're gonna have one for everybody. And if Rosie and Shido don't like these, then F them, basically.
I mean,
We're hiring
I have
forever.
Fitzpatrick, if that counts.
Okay, well maybe we won't get a 4th.
You're not going to put Fitzpatrick in danger, are you?
Hey,
Not if I can
Patrick
help
can
it.
handle himself. He's a good boy.
Very good boy.
Best boy.
We have a line for animal cruelty, so don't worry.
I get so I get that's fine. We'll kick the tires on a fourth, but if we don't see anything super promising, we'll go with what we have.
Yeah.
There is there's a man wearing cassocks or cossacks.
Cossack is a person.
Cassocks is okay. So the priest robes, and he's been watching the whole scenario kind of piously, away from the crowd, and he's the only one really left that hasn't already been hired by this noble, or that hasn't left the Downing portal altogether.
Does he look like he's from like a cool church or one of the stuffy churches?
The
Do they have like the guitar band youth
yeah,
group
it's the
sort of
Church of
thing,
Joy.
or-
It's like one of the dancing churches.
Yeah, okay.
The goddess is Lura, right? Let me glasses. I don't know that goddess. Lyra.
Oh,
I think it's a bard goddess, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be talking out of my ass. I don't know. But yeah, he's not stuffy.
Well, sir, we're looking for a fourth. Are you interested in joining our small expedition?
I believe I could be of service. My fee is 4 gold per day, but I would negotiate that given the circumstances. This is obviously something that is unprecedented, and my humble offerings are meager.
Can you work with a dwarf?
Yes, I am not racist.
that's a relief.
And then the orc is like, "No, it's not because he's a dwarf. It's that dwarf." And forgive me.
Not all dwarves.
All right.
My best friends are dwarfs.
Oh boy.
Wow, you didn't have to go there, but great. Okay. Fine. Get your gear. All 4 of you get your gear together. We'll be heading off in a couple hours.
So out of character, have we, just to make sure I've added this up, we promised all of them 3 gold a day for 2 weeks? Is that the idea?
Let's go with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've done the math.
It's
And we started with 500 gold pieces, so even if you don't find anything.
Yeah. I was thinking of just covering that first week, because I've got a little bit of cash on hand.
so that's Jabari. I will assign these character sheets to you all so that you can deal with them.
Okay.
They're all actually the ones you've picked. They're all fighters in some way, some capacity. Jabari won't fight, but he has priest powers.
Okay, cool. And I think I'm going to mark, I think 7 times 12 is still 84-ish.
Good. Yes.
If we're going to go with like the kind of standard math rather than the new math.
Yeah. All right. So, sorry, the other 2 in this party have been out of the picture for quite some time. So you were going to go to the temple and then to your house in the water?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, what were you going to do at the temple? You're going together, right?
Yeah.
So I have like basically an art studio that they've given me a room that I've turned into an art studio in the back of the temple. I go back in there, and there's all sorts of like glass sculptures in here. I start collecting all these little light bulbs that are like glowing. They're like different shapes, and they all have that like Edison bulb look to them, but it's kind of like writhing around in there. And she starts like slotting things into this saddlebag that's on. Yeah, they look exactly like that. Thank you. And so Fitzpatrick has like a specially made saddlebag that has like slots for everything. So like she's stuffing all her tools into Fitzpatrick's saddlebags, and like there's little things, and she grabs this like bandolier and puts all the light bulbs in it. She looks over and said, "Oh, have you ever been in here?"
I haven't.
Oh,
This is amazing.
thanks. Yeah, I took up glass blowing. I know it's a weird, but
No, it's so cool.
yeah. I mean, since we may not get back here, do you want anything? You could give it to your friends that we're gonna go see.
Oh, can I have one of those cool light bulbs? I
Oh,
like it.
sure.
How do they fare underwater? Just
Oh, I've never submerged them, but they're probably fine.
looks like we're going to do an experiment.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. So there's someone I have to say bye to. Um,
Do you want me to wait here?
yeah, it might get personal.
Totally fine.
Okay. So she like leaves you with Fitzpatrick
Yes.
and heads out.
Is this Patrick a leaner that will
Yeah.
Yeah.
and knock you over because of
Yes.
Saint Bernard weight?
Yep.
I'm on the ground just in his cheek meat. Yeah.
And she goes to find Sierra, which is the priest of this temple, and who she was married to for quite some time. I don't know who read my Twitter thread because I was making all this backstory crap. But she only ever marries for 5 years at a time. And so they were married in the past, and it's probably one of the only ones that she would consider remarrying. But so she goes to see Sierra and give her like some heads up that she's gonna have to go do something dangerous.
So what does Sierra look like?
Sierra is a human with like fiery red hair. Wearing like robes, like probably the like really thin, like flowy robes, and she carries herself pretty well. She's a priest of Soon, and
goddess of love.
Yeah, love, beauty, and so. Sierra, do you have a moment?
Of course. What is it?
So something's happening. You know how I took that job down at the portal, at the yawning portal? It was fun, right? I got to anyways.
Sure, of course.
So something strange happened. This crazy guy came out of the portal, and anyways, a bunch of us have to go into Undermountain. And
why would you go into Undermountain?
Because there's a lot at stake if we can't stop something bad from happening.
To whom?
Everyone? To this plane? And I'm just really concerned that I mean, you know me, I usually land on my feet, but just in case I don't make it back, I wanted to see you before I went in.
I don't believe that you're going in there. What could possibly be so important? You won't survive.
Well, I mean, I've got some people with me, and honestly, I think we've probably got the best chance at this. From everyone I've seen who's running into that portal, we are definitely the most capable. And I mean, here's the thing: if we don't go and no one stops this, everyone dies. If we do go and we don't stop, and we do stop this, sure, some of us could die, but not everyone. And there's no way that I could let that much beauty get wiped out of our world.
I can't pretend to know what's going on, but I know that you and your faith in Soon and the other gods will guide you, and can't believe you're going. And she breaks down at that point and excuses herself.
Okay. And
There's a slammed door.
Yeah.
The back rectory.
And she turns, because this is probably there's probably like a idol or something, and she turns to like say a little prayer. Soon I've tried to embody your teachings and do everything that Sierra taught me, but I don't need you to look out for me, but could you look out for her? I need her to be okay. And then she'll leave, like, and walk out of the room and head back to go get Shido.
Rosie doesn't see this, but on the other side of the rectory where the door closed, Sierra's on the ground weeping because she heard that. And but on to better and brighter things.
Sorry for starting it off sad.
Oh, Kurt.
Nailed it.
Okay, so you are now waiting for Rosie outside the temple. So she comes out.
I think I was in the
in the art studio. So I'll get her.
Oh, in the art studio.
Yeah. And I am like, you walk in and Shido doesn't notice you come in, and she is just like rolling around with the dog. Like there is zero dignity. And she immediately tightens up and is like, hello.
I think that's the like that triggers the laugh, right? That like kicks her out of the like sad revelry for what she could lose. You hear this like rolling giggle like burst out of Rosie. And she goes and grabs the last few things and tells you to take any of the art that you want, and let's go meet your family.
Like 20% of the art is gone and stuffed into the bag of holding. Like she was just looting your room while you were gone.
I can make more.
You're going to. I'm going to make you.
Do you have any room left in your bag of holding?
Yeah, there's room for like a sandwich. I guess we need to bring those.
I think they are. Most of them are fairly suggestive, like dancer poses that you would put on a music box, but like they're like tasteful nude. Yeah.
Nice.
Glass sculptures.
He should tide me over in the Undermountain.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Jason's looking for a height check.
Oh yeah. My character, I don't play short people. I won't do it. So she's like super lanky, probably like 6'3" or 6'4".
Oh yeah. Rosie is 3 feet tall. Fitzpatrick is taller than her.
Oh good goodness.
But Fitzpatrick has
you can ride Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick has a saddle. So I'll normally ride Fitzpatrick if I'm going a long distance.
And what's the movement when you're riding? Like you're faster, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fitzpatrick's quick.
Such a good boy.
Fitzpatrick has a speed of 40.
Great.
And I'm a speed of 25. So I normally ride Fitzpatrick around if I'm going a long distance, or if we need to get somewhere quickly.
Nice.
Your fuzzy horse. Okay, so I'm dying to know how you're going to bring Rosie into the ocean.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we walk over to her bungalow, and it's one of those like, it's like a really like shanty looking thing, but it's like right on the water. So you like walk off of the back porch and like it's into like 30 feet deep water, and it's full of flowers and she's like kind of explaining as you walk into this just like wall. It smells like a Lush store. Like when you walk in, it's just a lot. She's like, scent doesn't really work the same way under the water. So I like smells. Anyway, I think I have a water breathing thing in here somewhere. Hold on. And she's just like ripping through like a bunch of bouquets and like tearing down garlands, trying to find like a little object to help you breathe underwater.
Oh my God. Fitzpatrick is fetching everything you throw.
Yes.
And bringing it back to you.
Okay. Oh, random side note. If you noticed, like after she was playing with Fitzpatrick, like the parts where he was like leaning up against her, like her body is warm there, where it's normally like pretty cold. So yeah, I think that's kind of why she likes like warm bodies. Anyway, yeah, she like finds this like little seashell. It looks like the seashell from Little Mermaid, and she like hands it over to you and like walks down to the little landing before the water. And she hesitates and then just turns to you and goes, honestly, maybe we don't do this. I'm not very good at goodbyes.
Oh, okay. I mean, whatever you're comfortable with. I
don't know how hard it was for you to speak to whoever you had to speak with, but I don't.
She puts her hand on your forearm, and looks, and she's, it's okay. Of course, I would never ask you to do anything that you didn't want to, but I find it's nice to have closure. It's sort of, I like things that are whole, and I don't know if everyone feels the same way, but I feel that it's easier to move forward when you know that something is ended. I don't know if that helps.
It does. There's a lot about my family that isn't easily disentangled. Hold on. And she's going to run back up and grab like a flower crown. And she just kind of like sets it on the water and goes, we'll be back in 2 weeks. We're going to be back in 2 weeks. So.
Of course.
Let's just, but you, and she like grabs your hand and like around the shell and says, hold on to that. Because I still want to show you. But in 2 weeks when we get back, okay?
Of course. Of course.
Okay. And she looks like super distraught and like exits. And I think by the time we like head back to the portal, like her normal like air of like calm confidence has come back, but she was like super shaken.
Okay. Inspiration for Kurt and Aabria for bringing some feels into Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, so you both have come back to Yawning Portal.
Yep.
There's an army waiting for you of, of people with backpacks. you see Corvin and Tenrail, but also there is a half orc, a dwarf, sort of a middle-aged woman, and some sort of priest, human male priest. And they're all gathering their things with backpacks and are sort of all milling around Corvin and Tenrail.
What the fuck is all of this?
Did we start a band or something? Like what?
This is the help. I told you we needed help. They're gonna, go with us and provide support.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
Yeah. Hi. I'm Rosie. This is Fitzpatrick. Oh, sorry. This is Fitzpatrick.
The priest is the first. He says, "I'm Jabari. It's a pleasure. I will be here for your holy divine needs."
Is he wearing a holy symbol?
Yeah, he's I forget the name of the goddess. Sorry, let me look it up.
Lyra.
Yeah, thank you, Lyra.
He's human.
Mm-hmm.
Priest Jabari.
Yep.
Thanks.
And I'll give you character sheets too because you guys are going to be running these characters. I'll talk them, but I'm not going to be rolling for them or anything. And then he's the only one that really steps forward and introduces himself. The other three, there's the half orc who's doing this, And there's the dwarf that's trying not to make eye contact with the half dwarf, and then there is the middle-aged woman who is sharpening her sword. She's got like a long sword that she's running through on a whetstone.
Okay. Well, looks like you guys were super busy.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
What, did you think we were just going to make some sandwiches?
Honestly, yes. Is that weird to say yes?
No, I'm just curious.
Okay.
Yeah, we're about ready. We've said our goodbyes to our important people, right? That took 5 minutes. I don't know where you guys were.
I mean, we don't just like run down a hole like those other fools. They're going to die quickly. I don't even think I grabbed anything. Oops.
I got lots of stuff actually. Did you need anything? I got.
Nah,
Okay.
we're fine.
I mean, most of it's on Fitzpatrick, but
Okay. Well, I've got room in this bag if anyone wants to put anything in here.
oh, sure.
And she like just starts like pulling random pieces of art and like wilted flower bouquets out. Like, we can make some room in here. Okay, so down the hole, I guess.
So the sorry, I was making characters, but I can do that later.
Well, before we go, I should probably activate this. And she like taps her armor, and it like this like red like tendrils come out, like red hair, like of Soon, like, like all
I
over.
hate it.
And she turns on her infusion to enhance armor, so she buffs her armor, and reaches down and taps her boots, and her high-heeled boots turn red.
Dope. Well, okay, hold on. And I'm going to sit and cast Unseen Servant as a ritual. It's like, look, I don't have to pay this one.
So for like 10 minutes, everybody's
Yep.
waiting.
Yeah, this feels like right in my character's lane. Like, everyone wait for me.
The woman has put her foot up now, and she's kind of like doing this with a sword.
Yep.
The dwarf is playing with dice.
And I just hand it my bag of holding, like, oof, good. That was so heavy.
I go around to everyone else, and I'm like, oh, did you want me to do anything for, did you want me to juice up your armor or give it a little something?
Who are you talking to?
Like she kind of looks to the group, because she just did that to her armor, and it like, got covered in art. Did you need any? Did you want me to do anything?
I mean, I don't really worry about. I've got this. Like he's got this like vest, and like a nice shirt on under there, and the cloak over his shoulder with the hood down, and it's all like definitely nicer clothes, but it's not armor at all, right? And it's like, I think I'm good, but
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. She like looks around to the other hirelings. She's also lying. She's trying to play a trick on them. So if you want, they can insight.
Oh, sweet.
I don't think they're looking for trickery. So of this group, I think the only one that would really be interested in that is the woman, the mage. Her name is Mage. So
Yeah, Mage.
she's like, well, that obviously would help. Please.
And I'll go and touch her robe or whatever she's wearing.
She's wearing chainmail. Wait, she's wearing armor, chainmail.
Oh, cool. I'll go and touch it, and it like lights up the same way mine does. But it's just a visual thing. Like all she does is just make it look cool.
Yes.
Confidence booster.
Yeah. And she's like, there you go. Like trying to.
Thank you, little one. Thank you.
I'm so into it.
You're welcome. I could. She goes. She looks around. Who has a sword?
She does, and the half orc does.
Oh, I want to do the half orc sword. So I go over and I'm like, oh, could I could do something for you.
Like what?
Well, here, just hold out your sword.
No.
I'm not gonna hurt it. I just, okay, fine, suit yourself. And she like Like starts to walk away, like, you know.
You think you're real
"You're
cute,
lost."
huh? Well, you're
Oh,
not.
so cute. I mean, and she gives him sort of a side eye, like, you know you're lying.
At least you
Yourself,
use.
if
At least
anybody,
you
if
don't
not
use
us.
too many words.
Well, I mean, just the ones that are necessary.
Did it just get a little spicy in here? I like it. I like it.
I'm trying to find these. Okay, I will at some point give you guys these characters. Otherwise, it'll take too much game time. But anyway, who wants what character? Is you're going to be in charge of them?
I'll take the dwarf.
All right. So Marin belongs to Tenreal.
I'll take the priest.
Okay. Jubari belongs to Shadu.
I mean, do I get this orc that
Yes.
You get Orc, which leaves a mage with Corvin.
Okay.
what is
Is-
orc's name?
Oric. Or Orc with an I in the middle.
Nice.
And what was the woman? Oh, Mage, Mage,
hmm
who is not a wizard.
No, it's ironic.
I love it.
And at some point after the session, I'll put them in your control, so you'll have them for the game. But cool. They will all fight except for Jabari,
Nice.
who has priest powers, whatever those might be. I don't need to look at the stat block.
So
All
I
right.
guess before we go, we'll go to Durnan and say, hey, we're gonna. Well, at least I do. I'll go back to Durnan and say we'll be back in a few days. I'm sure it'll be all right.
Good luck.
And maybe thank you. Okay, we'll hold off on the thank you until we get back.
Don't trust anyone down there, and not all that glitters is gold.
Well, I don't trust anyone up here either, so it'll work out. So what do? We just like hop over the side?
Is it? Yes. You just hop over the side, or you could use the pulley, but whatever you want.
You know, I do have slow fall and I do have slippers of spider climbing, so I probably could just walk down the side. But fine, we'll use the elevator.
It's probably a couple of trips, right?
Yeah. I mean, you could probably fit like 2 people at a time.
Yeah. So we
Well,
get us
3
all
if you
down
bring
there.
Rosie. Yeah.
All right.
But the dog.
So it's not gonna be a logic puzzle about like who goes first, whatever. We're just gonna all get down there.
Eventually, yes.
Great.
Yes, there's
So
a
you go
fox
in-
and a sheep and a goat
And a dwarf.
and a dwarf. Orc will eat the dwarf if you leave them both.
Fact.
I think he meant feed the dwarf to the monster, but it came out wrong. Okay, you're in Undermountain. The
I hate it.
the pit is it's like if a well was the size of a house. It's a large diameter. I don't know the number. Let's say 50 feet, and it's the stone, actually very well hewn wall that goes down and down and down. At the bottom, the first thing you see is a skeleton hand sticking up out of sand. And you feel, as you come to the ground, you feel the crunch of bones as you're stepping on whatever belongs to that skeleton hand. Then you can see rusty swords throughout, and its sand kind of goes all the way towards the end of the wall, which is this big hewn cylinder. And there are shields that have been cast down. There's the Forgotten Realms equivalent of Snickers wrappers on the ground. There's rusted through daggers, and it's just a sort of decay and rubble, and then the sand kind of disappears and turns into the ground beneath, which is well-hewn stone. There really is only one way to go, and that's through a passageway that is not lit. There's no lights, so those of you that can't see are seeing darkness, except for the light coming in from the Yawning Portal's Tavern. So after about 10 feet or so, it's completely dark.
Okay, I'm gonna cast dancing lights as a cantrip.
Okay, so now you can see.
Yeah.
Oh, are you do you not have dark vision?
I don't have dark vision.
I asked everybody, and nobody said I needed to make goggles of night.
That's okay.
I would have made you dark vision goggles, but I didn't know.
No, this is fine because they're shaped like little flowers that like circumnavigate her head, and it's a lot. She's a lot. I'm good at dungeon diving. Let's go.
I just need to find the priest is human, and so is mage. But I need to check the priest to see if he has light, which he probably does. I swear I have gremlins today. None of my technology is working.
All good.
So Jabari just whispers a prayer, and his staff lights up, and so there's visible light for those of you who can't see, in addition to the dancing light, which adds these kind of nice, colorful shadows on the wall, reflecting. And there's I forgot to get some stats from you guys. Since you probably have better access to your characters than I do, I need to know your AC and your passive perception.
AC of 12, passive perception 13.
Okay.
AC 20, passive perception 15. And do you want the pupper's passive perception?
Yeah.
He's got passive 13, but he also has advantage on hearing and smell.
Yeah, okay. Corvin?
AC, sorry, AC 17, passive perception 15.
Okay. Last but not least, Tenrail?
AC 16 and passive perception of 15.
Oh, I'm used to rolling with dice. Would you prefer I roll above board? Here. She can't see my dice.
It really doesn't matter since we're not like streaming that stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I trust you as a DM. You're good.
All right, cool. So, Rosie, Corvin, and Tenrail, the shadows beyond, there is a distinct, subtle movement from figures that are trying to hide. And they've gone kind of back into the corridors a bit, and there's two. One kind of went up against the wall, the other sort of crouched down like that. You're not alone.
Guys, there's something out there. Keep on guard, and I'll pull my shield out.
I'm ready.
Were we supposed to bring shields? Fuck.
No, well, I mean, only if you need one. I like it. It makes me feel safe. And she'll pull it out. It's more of a buckler, but okay. Onward? Or do we call out and try to goad them out here?
Good options.
Well, they see us. They don't know we see them necessarily. Might just have to spring it and see what happens. There's 8 of us, and presumably 2 of them unless they have friends.
Sure. All All right. Well, so what? We just walk out there and then get ready to get hit with crossbows? I don't know what. I didn't see what they were exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean, at least we know we're there. They're there. That's a step in the right direction.
Okay. I'll try to keep my back to a wall and like slowly move forward.
I'm gonna stand behind the half orc. Shield. He just pats him on the shoulder.
Oh no, his name is Auric.
Shield.
Hey, don't break my orc.
Marches
He
forward.
wants to protect me, and then she just gives him a look.
There's a side eye. He's
Yep.
keeping his emotions to himself.
Yeah.
Corbin goes to like
Close enough to see that one of his tusks is broken.
Hmm.
Kind of like quarter of a tusk.
Nice.
Corbin goes to fist bump Mage because like they're kind of paired up and like, yeah, we're gonna do this. And I imagine she's not into the fist bump, and he just sort of like friendly punches her shoulder.
He does the look at the shoulder.
Yeah. We got this.
If you say so. Okay, let's go. And the figures have scuttled away. Like they're moving deeper into the corridor.
Oh, maybe they're grooves. No? Okay.
We all get the joke. We just didn't laugh at it.
That's worse.
We did have a torch though. It's just in my pack.
So they're running away from you and deeper into the dungeon. And at this point, if you follow, you'll be leaving the main chamber and going into your first corridor. So there's the structure of it is the corridors are all arched. So it goes like this, but it doesn't look like it's almost like it was carved out that way. You don't really see a cornerstone or anything like that. And the masonry is really well done. Like this could be a nice place, if they put up some torches and pictures or tapestries or something. And as soon as you leave the main pit, it sort of you could be in any castle hallway, but it's dark and it's quiet, and there's something out there.
Well, I think the best we can do is inch forward.
Well, we could, or we could try to scout it. But
Sure. I can try to sneak ahead if you like. If I can leave this light behind, that'd be handy.
Yeah. There's gonna be light back here. That's just a thing that's gonna happen. Good luck.
I mean, I feel like you could have said something.
I'm sorry, I didn't know. It was like, oh, it's a dungeon, but clearly there's going to be sconces on the wall. That's my fault. I apologize. I've never been down a big stupid hole before.
what is your stealth at, Jason?
6.
I might
Well,
actually
plus 6 or
Oh,
Okay.
plus 6, yeah.
I might actually be better. However,
I mean, we can both go.
nah, why do that? You might have a better investigate though, so you might actually have more to do when you're there.
I mean, I've trained investigate, so maybe I don't know if that is going to count as better, but
I am very investigative, but not super stealthy.
I'm much more of a like instinct rather than book learning. So
Okay.
but I'm happy to go. Yeah, I mean, I offered, and it's like, what? Shall I just go look ahead?
Yeah, don't go too far.
I wouldn't dream of it.
All right, so the corridor opens up into a larger room that is lined with statues that go towards the staircase, but it's a little too dark to see what's past that area. These statues are these. Uh, how well can you see? You have 30 feet or 60?
60, I think.
Okay, 60 plus
Um,
30 and so you can see the statues are these horribly grotesque demonic creatures. Like you could be in Athens looking at a beautiful marble statue of David, but instead it's like, this horrible demonic H.P. Lovecraft dream devil creature.
Horrible. Okay.
And there's just a series of them going down the hallway. And then you see you're sort of distracted by that until you see at the foot of one of the statue's foot of the feet, there's this rotting carcass. You don't smell anything, so it must have already rotted, but there's still some like leathery skin on it and patches of feathers. You kind of get a look at this head that has this beak that's been rotted through. And there is a finger that it's been laid out so there he died, so his finger was pointing at one of the statues, like this, just
It's like close enough to touch the statue, or it's
just a couple feet away, but
yeah.
at the foot of it, and it looks like it just like died pointing at it. And it happened a long time ago, enough like months probably, because there's still some flesh and feathers, but it's not. And you can't, I mean, if you know your animals, you can figure out what it was. Definitely a bird creature.
That's less important to me than the statue it was pointing at. I want to see what I could learn about the statue without touching it. Just sort of like peering around and looking to see what this one seems to be all about.
So you're gonna go up to the statue?
Yeah, within more than 2 feet. Further away than Birdman was.
Yeah, it's it has just a series of tentacles coming out of a head that are all wrapped around the body like this, and it is this kind of hollow eyes that are vacant. Like it's like the way it was crafted, that they caved out the back of the statue so that the eyes would actually be an open vacant space. And it has this really hideous smile. It's full of teeth. You've never seen anything like this before. It was out of some artist's imagination.
Okay.
This isn't a mythological thing.
Okay, that's horrible, and I hate it. And otherwise, I think you said this was like kind of a round room with these statues all the way around.
Yeah, it's a passageway. It's just broader than the hallway you came in, and these are lining the way. But then there's a staircase at the end that goes into probably a round room, from what you can tell.
Okay, but in this room, there's no one like hiding behind the statues or anything like that.
No, and they're not even complete statues. They're sort of like facades. They're carved into the wall.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'm just gonna scoot back down the hallway and speak quietly and say, well, there's a collection of statues ahead. It looks like somebody died messing with them. I think we can proceed carefully, but I'm not sure what to tell you about the statues.
No sign of the creatures that were ahead of us?
No, there's a stairway ahead past the passageway, and they may have disappeared down that way. Or secret doors behind the statues, but that's what I could find.
Do you want me to look into the statues? I could try to figure out what's going on there.
Well, let's proceed to the statues as a group, and then decide what we'll do with the statues when we get there.
Sure.
Fantastic.
Okay, so Chris, the caravan will move forward, and we'll reach the statue, and Rosie's going to get herself killed messing with the statues.
This room is much easier to walk in with it because it's bigger, so everybody can kind of spread out a little bit. And you see what I described ahead of you, and you see the statues, and you can see where, it's probably about 50 feet ahead is where the staircase begins and goes down into darkness.
So
these are gross.
That fellow died here. I know everyone can see that, but Pointing at the I mean, do we need to do anything with the statues? Maybe there's something exciting about them that this one knew about, but I don't think it's going to have anything to do with untangling the weave.
True.
Do these look like magically created statues, or like, I don't know, is there a check I can make?
Yeah, I mean, if it was created by hand, it would have been a master craftsman.
Yeah. All right. So, these were probably people before, right? So are we worried about the thing that made these things?
Absolutely.
Okay. Can I investigate the room to see if there's any like hidden doors?
Sure, yeah.
Oh yeah. I keep like going to grab dice and that's not the thing we're doing.
I mean, I prefer dice, but
There we go.
know.
21?
Natural?
Yes, a natural 21.
All right, so yeah, there's two. There's one that's behind the statue that the creature is pointing at,
Cool.
and you could tell because you looked at the eyes and you go, "Wait, there's some when your magic casts light, you can see shadows going further in from behind the eyes. So you realize that that's a door."
Okay.
And then you also see another one behind you against the other wall that's just a piece of the masonry has peeled off, not broken off. So
Cool.
yeah, there's also a passageway there.
Yeah, she just kind of whistles and gestures with a dagger, like, eh? There's doors. What do we want to do? I hate this so much, you guys. I want to state that officially for this very large group that we should leave. This is a nightmare.
Well, I mean, there could be something useful back there.
Or we could get turned into stone statues. So, just be cinematic with your poses, just in case.
That's an excellent point. Thank you.
That's really good. Thanks. I never really thought about that. Okay, so yeah, so she gracefully walks towards well, I don't know that maybe we should start with the one that killed that bird fella. Maybe go to the other one first?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna go check it out.
The other side of that is perhaps the bird fellow regretted his choice and was pointing at the one he wished he had chosen.
Oh, okay, so it's like okay, but then maybe that's what they want us to think.
So clearly we can't choose the door in front of him.
Correct.
Yes, good. This is not at all more confusing.
But
Perfect.
if they knew that we were excellent adventurers, then we would come to that conclusion. So clearly we can't choose the door
Opposite.
opposite.
This reminds me of The Princess Bride.
Well, yeah, I think that's on purpose. And scene. Okay. Okay, so honestly, I think the other one. I think the one that the bird's not pointing at. Because I think probably the bird died trying to mess with that door.
Well, let's open it up. What's the worst that could happen?
Okay.
We'll all die. We'll all die is the worst thing that could happen. Dying is the worst thing.
Look, fine. I'll just check it. I won't like touch it. I'll just see if we can figure out if maybe it's trapped or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
You mind if I
Bird
just
door, right?
look over your shoulder?
Look over my shoulder.
Yeah. Is it annoying if I?
Oh no! Come on.
All right.
Yeah.
You get an advantage for investigation for traps or perception. I guess it's perception. I always get that mixed up. No, perception is looking for the traps. Investigation is to figure out how to disarm it, I think.
I don't know.
Investigation is check for traps. Perception is notice something in the room.
Yeah. All right. So this is an investigation roll.
Okay. I will
With
make an
advantage,
investigation check.
Because you're.
I'm only looking because I'm proficient with thieves' tools, and I was curious to see if there was any way for me to help.
Yeah.
Oh, and sleight of hand to disarm a trap.
Pull a fuse real quick.
Can you use the thieves' tools like if you're proficient with the tool? Can you use that to disarm a trap? Does it
It
have
would
to
be
be sleight of hand?
you wouldn't get the proficiency bonus.
All right. So let's see if we can figure out if it is trapped.
Yeah.
So 25.
All right, it is not trapped.
Nice.
Okay.
It was just hidden, but then through age and time, the facade is kind of peeling away.
Oh, so that's the one that's opposite the bird.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we go in let's check the other one and see if it's trapped.
Yeah.
Yeah? And then we'll just know.
Yeah,
Right?
that makes sense.
Okay. So I'll go peek at the other one. You know what? That was you could get in closer. I don't mind.
All right. Huh?
Yeah, you're not gonna bother me. So that one's not as good. I'm probably a little distracted by this half elf.
His long hair kind of falls on your
Yeah.
shoulder.
Do we have
I got to make a con save to not crack up right now.
are there help rolls?
Nope.
Yeah, that's why you got an advantage because you were.
Oh,
Yeah,
advantage. Okay.
I got to pick between the 12 and a 10, so I'll take
Sweet.
the 12, I guess.
It doesn't appear to be. It's a statue. I mean, you would have to move it to see what the doorway looks like.
Right. Okay. So I mean, you smell nice, but I don't think this is trapped.
Thank you. You're probably right.
That you smell nice?
That
You
it's
hear
not
the orc
trapped.
go, ah!
Oric, you know I smell nice. Don't make that noise. But let's check the other one first. The bird pointing at dead is a bad omen.
Right. I feel more confident about the other one. Let's go in there. Okay. So we'll go back to the pink peely door and try to get it open.
It just kind of opens. I mean, it's not really jammed or anything. It kind of tears more of the facade.
Mm.
And inside, you see a large just chamber that has sort of a sword in the stone style dais with a sword sticking out of it.
Mm.
And you can hear these muffled voices coming from somewhere in there.
Like inside?
Inside or around or above or outside. Is this near?
And
Can't
is this
quite
like
place it.
a normal sized door that just opened up in the wall or like a
Yeah.
hole in the wall? Or...
Yeah, it's like a normal sized door that's been pasted over, spackled over,
Right. Okay.
And the room you're going in, I mean, it's just it's a huge room that's just full of nothing. There's nothing in there except for this sword and a stone dais in the middle. And you hear these sort of distant voices coming from around the area.
Okay, so
Before we go up to that, is it possible? Do any of the things around? Is it safe to approach this thing?
Oh, it doesn't appear to be anything but a sword stuck in a big altar. Just
is it does the sword look notable in any way? Like
it's ornate, quite beautiful. You can't from where you are say, you can't tell if it's has any special emblems or anything on it, but it's obviously a very nice sword. Even from this distance, you can tell that.
That would look great with this outfit.
Would it? I mean, let's get closer and check it out. Actually, does anyone hear mumbling?
Yes.
So everyone hears that?
I hear mumbling sometimes, so I don't know when everyone can hear it and when it's not.
You should get that checked.
It's fine.
Okay.
Magic is weird.
Do we understand the mumbling?
It's just too distant.
Okay.
If you listen really carefully, you almost hear you can hear the canter of horse hooves echoing a bit, and there's sort of like distant noise and mumbling, some things being moved. It's sort of weird distant clatter coming around.
I have 3 hypotheses. 1, ghosts.
Okay.
2, there's actually horses coming, but they're very far away. And 3, someone is messing with us.
Okay. Trick, ghost, or distant horses. Got it.
Yeah. I'm going to go with ghosts. That's probably...
We try to pull that sword out from far away rather than going up to it.
Why are you going to try to pull the sword out?
Because it would look great with what I'm wearing right now.
Well, let me check it. Maybe it's, I mean, I've done a lot of, I mean, I don't read a lot, but what I do is mostly about magic items. So if maybe I could recognize this thing if it's
Sure.
if I figure out who created it or what it is. I out of character, I do have something called Artificer's Lore, where I get
Nice.
um, I get expertise on history checks for magic items. So I'll sneak up to this thing and not touch it, but like peer at it and see if I can figure out anything
If you
about it.
got close enough, you can actually see the remains of a skeletal hand underneath the dais sitting there.
Cool. Shido is giving Corvin like a withering stare, by the way, as this is happening.
What? What?
It would look good with your outfit. This is a dungeon full of fucking traps, and you're gonna fall for the first one.
Well, I said I would do it from far away. I don't want to walk up to it.
Good. No, this is good. This is how we die.
There's a hand over here. Does anybody need a hand?
Oh no, 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 boo, boo.
But where is it? Crushed? Is it like what? What do you
It's
mean?
just lying limp on the ground underneath the sword, but it's long ago decayed.
And it's like severed.
Mhm.
Does it look like it was severed by this sword?
Impossible to say.
Okay.
It was severed by some blade.
I mean, it was just kind of. I mean, whoever's it was, they don't need it now. I guess it's old.
Hmm.
Do I recognize the sword at all? Do you want
What
any
did
kind
you
of check, or is
Yeah, I need your.
okay? So I don't know how to tell this to have double my proficiency, but
Just add another 3 to it.
so I'm actually. It's funny. I'm not proficient in history, but whenever I make an intelligence check, history check related to magic items, you can add twice your proficiency bonus. So +6, so 15.
15.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You know what this is. It's a very, very good sword. It is highly valuable, but if you pick it up, you're never going to drop it. It's cursed.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Hey, I actually know this one. So it's super. Okay, it's cursed. Does anybody? But like in like a weird way, does anybody really just want to always be holding a sword all the time ever?
What?
Mm.
No?
No.
Stupid thing to want.
Oh, maybe that's why the hand's cut off. They didn't want the sword anymore.
Hmm. Sure.
Oh my god.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So if you pick it up, can't put it down. That's the problem. I mean, it's a good sword. It would go great with that outfit.
Not the point.
Well, I mean,
Well, we might be able to. I mean, somebody might want it if we took it with us. Can we put it in something?
I'm pretty sure if you pick it up, you can't put it down is the whole point. I mean, unless you don't want that hand or something.
Well, if I were to lift it with magic, perhaps it would.
I'm going to guess that the curse that you got to touch it to get it out of that stone. That's the whole thing. Like, otherwise, why
Yeah.
would it just
You know, we're at like the beginning of this particular hallway, right? So like everyone has passed this sword and no one grabs the sword.
Well, somebody did because there's a hand.
Yeah, that's how that went. It's called what we call a cautionary tale.
Oh.
And then she just slaps Corvin really hard on the arm. Like, stop it. You don't need this. And my accent has slipped to something crazy, but yeah.
I like it. I didn't notice the change.
I think it's. I mean, here, let's just leave it. I don't think we need to, unless one of you, and she looks at the hirelings and she's like, unless one of you doesn't need a hand.
Or you want to hold the sword forever?
Yeah. I mean, if you're a hired sword, like that's kind of your whole shtick, right? Like you just.
Very fair point.
It's a good sword.
Okay, so no one for the sword?
Yeah. Okay, that's a no. We're moving on. Cool.
All right then.
I go check out the other door.
Hold on. Now I want you to try to like use magic to grab the sword.
Why?
Because I just want to see if you can do it.
I mean, don't knock yourself out or anything.
There is another door in this room that leads on, by the way.
Oh, like on the other side of this room?
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to see what's
Deeper
over?
Yeah, maybe it's a don't take the first sword you come across sort of thing, and we can check the next room.
Sure. Okay. I'll go take a peek at the next room.
All the doors that you've seen well, that's the first door you've seen, so never mind. All the doors in Undermountain look like this, which is that it's kind of a really well-made oak door with, iron strips and a handle, so you can pull them open. They're not like locks or anything. So you would need to open the door to see what's going on. Even as you get nearer, though, you can see that they hear the muffling, those noises, those random talks and conversations and horses going. They kind of get quieter the closer you get to the other end of the room.
Is this door safe to open?
Well,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's closed, but you don't know if it's.
I'm gonna. So do I hear anything on the other side of the door other than the?
No, it's quiet on the other side. Also, I'm going to use your passive to tell you
fine.
whether or not it's trapped. It's definitely not trapped. You don't have to check every door in the dungeon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's. Look, I mean, it's safe to open, but did anybody notice that the ghost noise went away when we got close to the door?
Oh, that's
If anybody's nearby the sword still, you can still hear it.
weird.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure that's.
It may be the voice of the sword.
Oh, maybe it's the sword.
Well, now I want the sword.
Oh, definitely don't take the sword. Your hands are far too pretty to get cut off.
You're so nice. And she gives Corbin another dirty look.
Shido, your criticism has not gone unnoticed, and it's hurtful.
Not my problem.
All right, I'm opening the door.
All right. There's there's a hallway. If you want to continue in this way, you will end up in a particular location, or you can go back to where you came from and go the other way. But one thing you do notice, though, this hallway has got to be adjacent to where those stairs were going back in the other way. So you'll be heading the same direction either way.
I don't know if we want to open the door with the dead guy in front of it.
What door? What do you mean?
The
other door back in the hallway?
Yeah, the other option. I don't feel real obligated to pursue that.
Yeah, I'm kind of okay just leaving that one be. Anybody else have a problem with that?
No, that's probably the right call.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Probably just more cursed swords.
Yeah, or death beams.
Yeah.
Does this look like petrification magic that's like dispellable?
Well, that's a hard question to answer. It assumes a lot.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Okay, so you're going to proceed?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just continue down this way. It seems like maybe we found the door that the others didn't when they came down here. So odds are we're gonna. I don't know. Then again, we won't be following in their wake, which means anything that they kill. I don't know. There's benefits to either, right? They obviously didn't come this way because the door was sealed. If we go the other way and follow in their footsteps, then they probably already killed some monsters.
That's a fair point.
This way is unknowns. But also, the treasure would still be here if they already got something.
Although,
Go ahead.
No, what were you going to say, Tenrel?
I think we should continue the way we're going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking treasure. We can take a few monsters. That's fine. Let's go. I push forward.
Excellent.
Okay, so just give me 1 sec, please, as I negotiate Roll20.
You're good. As you do this, Shido's gonna like reach into her bag of holding and pull out like a canteen of water and pour it out. and like it forms into like a long, like watery spike, and then as she grabs it, it freezes. It just goes.
Oops. I accidentally showed you the whole dungeon.
That's an impressive trick. I wasn't looking, so good job.
Sorry for knocking you or wanting the sword. I just don't want you to die immediately.
Oh, well, that's all right. You should know I'm curious and foolhardy, and that may become a conflict.
I will be your voice of reason.
Oh, I've never had one of those before.
We'll see how it goes.
You go into this next chamber, and that's where you see all of the vampires. So we'll stop there.
God.
What?
No.
And we'll continue. We'll pick up the adventure in 2 weeks, and hopefully all of the and that's true. You do. You go into a room and you see a bunch of vampires.
Are they
Obviously,
cute?
vampires. There's about 6 of them.
Are they sparkly?
No.
On a
They
scale,
they got they've got the whole on costume.
on a scale of 1 to Strahd, how cute are they?
They are
Because Strahd can get it.
yeah. They're 6.
Okay.
Mm.
Good times.
Poor Jean is just like, what?
I know.
Rude.
I feel like Rosie's thrown a bone or two.
Okay, so now that I know what we're in for, I'm going to figure out the technology, and anyway, but that's it. That's the first entree into the dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Hey, hot diggity.
Did it?
Good job. You didn't die.
Not yet.
Yes.
All right, so we'll start this. We'll try to broadcast it live and on time in 2 weeks' time, and we'll be going every other Saturday.
Perfect.
Sweet.
All right.
At least until Thanksgiving. So.
Nice.
Awesome.
All right.
All right, cool.
See you guys later.